Hey guys, my name is Seniac and welcome back to another episode of Transport Fever 2 where we're back in Australia, baby! Where last episode we created, well, technically created our high-speed cargo train lines. Which now, with everything that we got set up, we started producing more steel over here, which utilizes the high-speed train line, but we have an additional cargo run. It's now 4 tracks wide, which looks absolutely amazing. We set up an additional kind of plank run right now, which brings the planks and the steel over to the machines plant over here, which this now starts supplying the remaining towns with their machines. So Darwin now has food, which is from over here, bricks, which we also got this set up as well, which this run is just over here, and machines from down there. Perfect. Tennant Creek has its food from up here, machines from down there. Catherine has its bricks from over here and its food from over here. Now, those 3 towns on our northern run are now completed, mate. Completed it. But there's still many towns that we got to get connected and all set up. Now, if I was to expand going down to Alice Springs, which I already have, this is on our current line, I need fuel and goods. Now, while we are producing fuel and goods somewhere in Australia, I need to create new supply chains in the northern center areas to supply all the towns around. That's why we got a brand new brick run, machine run, food run, and so on and so on. I need more of the others. So Alice Springs need fuel and goods. I mean, if you even take into account Port Lincoln needs fuel and goods. Seduna needs fuel and food. And if we then started going east and west, Mount Isa needs goods and machines. We're already producing machines right now. Kununurru needs bricks and goods. So there's a common theme. There's a lot of fuel. There's a lot of goods now needed. And they're the 2 new routes and new industries that we're going to be creating in today's episode. So I can supply all these cities before we then start expanding. Because once I do start expanding, I already have the goods to deliver to them. This is going to be pretty cool. So if you are enjoying the series and want to see more of it, smash that like button down below, boys. If you are new around here, make sure you do subscribe so you get notified when more episodes do come out. Now, I was taking a little bit of a look around the map, and bearing in mind, I need to now start producing fuel and goods. I need to figure out how this is going to work. Now, there is a bit of a good plant over here, but it does need steel, and it needs plastics. Now, these, oh dear God, they are, I mean, plastics is probably one of the most difficult ones for me at this current moment to produce. We did start creating a brand new steel plant, which is just here, which actually, there's a good factory right here. So that's quite quick and easy to deliver steel. That's really quick and easy right now. And it will mean leveling this up, which will then demand more goods. There's adequate stuff there. It's only delivering steel to over there anyway. So yeah, that makes sense for the goods factory. Okay, that ticks the boxes right there. Yeah. Plastic is my next issue. Now, if we go back, there's actually 2 ways I can do this. I can either pick up oil here, deliver it to somewhere like over here, and I need to then deliver the refined oil to a plastics plant. Now, I do have a plastics run already set up, which goes over to here right now. It's currently maxed out, and it is being utilized for quite a long run, doesn't it? The Geraldton Plastics goes all the way down here into there, which is fine. This already does produce goods, but I'm saving, this is the goods factory for this side of Australia, so I don't want to deliver anything in the center. Now, is there a way in which I can kind of up the deliveries for this and maybe utilize this, but this is kind of already maxed out? It's a bit awkward. I'm assuming this is now delivering crude oil. How many trains are on that oil line which delivers it from there? There's only 1 train. How much is waiting at the platform? There is quite a bit. Okay, now I could utilize this factory to then deliver down to here. If there's some way I can connect this to our commuter line and it will go to bend round and then in, that would work out. Also creating that line in then gives us the line to connect to the commuter and high-speed cargo line to distribute to all the towns. Right. That solves goods with steel and plastic. And what was the other one we need to produce? Fuel. Oh, good God. That is another oil line as well. Now, we have a fuel plant just there. We have a fuel plant just there, but more importantly, this one is within this oil run, which I don't think the trains are fully maxed out. We can make them bigger and better. It's got 3 oil wells there. It's got 3 there. It's got 2 refineries here. So I can bring it to there. If I can connect this to this line, which will be connected to the main line, it could work out, he says. Now, I'm only trying to use existing lines at the minute. There is a fuel plant down here, which you could argue I could utilize this, but that's a little bit far away, and I'm using it to supply these towns, so I do need a center one. There is one over there as well, but this is pretty good. What towns need it? Kafara wants it, but I can kind of get this to supply it. It's not a problem. Is it just Alice Springs, Seduna? Port Lincoln's one of them. Right. And Bamagav, actually pronounce it over there. So you could argue I don't need to go for this one. I can maybe go for that one. There is also one over here, which is more centralized to the location. But you also got to remember that the longer and further the distance is, the more money you make. And that's only going to be delivering... to be honest with you, you only need to get to the commuter line, and then you're sorted, because it's Alice Springs, Port Lincoln, and eventually Seduna as well. Yeah, okay, that would work pretty fine. Right, we figured it out. After much deliberation with the upper bosses on the committee, we know what we now need to do. But it all pretty much lies on whether this plastic line here can connect to our commuter line. So, let's pause the game. And this is going to become a bypassing station, believe it or not. So I'm going to have to do some configurations here. So let's configure it, and let's first delete you and you, because we need tracks here and here. And then we can do the platforms there and there. So that's all I need it to kind of do. We're going to run down this real quick. Right, they're not going to be happy, boys. They're not going to be happy. But they have to deal with it, okay? You got to deal with it. And I'm praying that we can make this go down and connect to this line. That's all it needs to do, is this bypassing line here. Not the high-speed train line. The bypassing commuter line that goes through all the towns. It might be that I might need to delete a few back, but if I go for the full shebang to begin with, and if I can do it, then we win. Oh, that's annoying, isn't it? I've just kind of completely messed that one up. Right, bam, 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 bam. Oh, bam, bam. Well, bam. Glorious. Glorious. Okay. I'm probably going to have to go back a little bit because I'm now realizing I've also got to try and merge and then bend both directions. I reckon this will be okay. I reckon this will be okay. So I need the cargo buildings right now, which is going to be a little bit funky trying to get these connected. Let me just kind of delete the road. Configure these back to get a big boy cargo building. There we go. And then we need the road to connect, which I should turn off all of this. Even though I've got like literally billions now in the bank. It's hilarious how much I'm trying not to spend much money on maintenance. Right, you're there. You're there. Do you reckon that's long enough? It should be fine. It should be fine. Right, we're back to being connected. We got the lines coming in. I will change them to be able to utilize both platforms. So we'll get onto that a little bit later. Right, so how am I going to connect this up? If I can even connect this up. I can connect it up and it's going to look absolutely glorious. So you're into there. This is then going to run out alongside it. But the next question is it possible to get a connection here? Weirdly, there is, and I don't know how we're doing it. I don't know how we've done it, but we've done it. I think I might be Jesus. Right, these have got to be really short right now, because we've also got to get a crisscross in. Oh, I don't know how I'm doing the crisscross now. If this all can go in, there's too much curvature. Okay, this is where we fall short. This is where we do now fall short. Because I'm not going to be able to get this in. Now, I've got two options. I could either delete this. Try again. But first, implement our Chrissy Crossy. So I'm going as short as we can. Not going to be possible there. Right, can I make these shorter? How short can I make these? That's as short as it's willing to go. I don't know if that's made any difference whatsoever. Right, no. I might need to delete this back a little bit more again. Okay. Right, configure this. Right, you got to delete them tracks there because you need it to kind of, you know, work and connect, and you can kind of utilize the bend. Right, this should be all I need to do now, right? In you go. Short as you can. And then there. Oh, don't do this now. Too much curvature. There. Right. We should be all good. Ta-da! This is amazing. This is going to be amazing. So we quickly sort out the signals. The signal's already in place just there, which is perfectly fine. You're going to... Oh, do you know what? I'm not even going to do signals. All right. That would go there, obviously. I'll have to do a signal here. It's just because of how short that connection is that I kind of don't want to do one. But I'm going to have to get rid of that signal there, and then we should be okay for the rest of it. It should have plenty of space to kind of maneuver. Right, we've created somehow double tunnels, which I don't know how that's now happened, but I'm not going to mess around with it right now because I still feel like this is a miracle that I've actually got those connected. Right, okay, so that's now all up and running. Oh, we have an actual train that this now decides to kind of bypass and go that way. What train is that? And where are you going? Oh, is it the plank line? Is it the Alice Springs planks? Yes, it's decided not to take the high-speed train line. It's decided that this, for itself, is the quicker run. Interesting. Interesting. Hopefully everything is all set up for this. And we have no issues. Yeah. Right. So with that done then, I can now start bulking up what happens. So we're going to set up first then obviously the goods factory. So we first need more oil coming to the plastics factory. So if I grab the Alice Springs line right now, and we'll make it also get to both lanes just here, we're going to manage the vehicles. And I believe we already have the bigger container on them. I'm just going to double check. We do. I'm going to duplicate to have a second train. There we go. That will then kind of give us more oil being delivered, which is perfect. So that will do what it needs to do. I then got to deliver plastic down to here. Now let's set this train station up here next, because this is now going to have to combine having the steel delivered as well. Now, it doesn't need to be a bypassing station because there's no trains going to be bypassing it. But I make it nice and long, 2 tracks, spinsies right round. And that should be perfectly fine. That should be perfectly fine. Track-wise, nice and long, beautiful connection. What's going on here? Boy, what's going on? There we go. So that connects in for the plastic to be delivered. But we're also going to utilize this to kind of go down here. Now, thinking about it, would it also make sense for the steel line that goes out that way to go this way and in? It kind of does, doesn't it? But then this then becomes a bypassing station, doesn't it? Which is even more hilarious. Right, I'm going to get rid of the bridge. Alright, that's on the outer side, which works out for us. Right, I will terraform all of this. Also, that is not high speed. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah, this now is no longer a bypassing station. It could be one then, and I don't have to make it go around this way, which then really shortens the distance. Which it's already utilizing. On the way back. It can't go that way because it doesn't have the one-way tracks implemented. Damn, son. Right, we might have to turn it into a bypassing route. Right, bam, bam. Get this all set up right now. Platform, bam, 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 bam. Oh, bam. Ba-bam. And then we need the tracks. You connecting up just to there. Nice little crissy cross. Or not. There we go. Which now utilizes that. Wow, that no longer needs to utilize all of this now. So I can delete this line. Which I never liked the curve on it anyway. When it splits here. I've never liked this. It has always looked a little bit awkward. Right, let's get this all now back to how it was. See, boys, it's all about trying to make it as efficient as we can. And you'll never know that even existed there. You'll never know it even existed. Right, let's quickly do some terraining. Pause the game while I do the terraining. It's a lot quicker. Flatten. So it's sometimes it's easier to kind of go really big and then flatten from that angle. There we go, boys. There we go. Beautiful. Yeah, it's... You really would need a bypassing route here. Now, you don't need one, but you can really do with one. Because I'm going to have now a train that goes through this and off its skadoodles. But I'm also going to have a small train that kind of completely goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Which again is... If that's the only train, then you're okay. It's not often they're going to crisscross one another because of how long the other line is. Oh, I should really build one, but I'm not going to build one. This is probably a bad decision. It's probably a bad decision. Right, let me get the signal set up real quick anyway. So you're there. You're there. I do one in the middle. Like that. And then one lead in there. There. Right, it should all work out. That now utilizes both lines. But that's going to stop. Oh, I'm going to have to do a bypassing route, boys. There's no way I can get out of this. There's no way I can get out of it. Right, delete. It's just for my own sanity. For your boy's own sanity. Right, there we go. Oh, I just realised, because I'm also going to need good trains picking up the goods, so I'm 100% going to need it. That didn't even go into my mind then for a second. How hilarious. That didn't even cross my mind. Right, I wonder if any of these can kind of get connected very easily. Right, that does. And that's all it needs to do to get it connected. Which now messes up these, because now I've got to make these really short. Which I don't think I'm going to get them in now. Oh, yeah, I am. I am, boys. Now, if the other side does it as well, on such a short run, like I said, I think I might be Jesus. Right, that's in. Perfect. And we should have the bypassing route being utilized by that steel line. Right, let's now create some lines, produce some goods, get them delivered to the goddamn towns. Right, new line. Here to here. Making sure that it's on the opposite side, which it is, which is perfect. Coming into there, so in Seduna North, we'll get it to utilize both platforms because we can have goods trains coming in as well. We'll make this, I mean, I've got this steel being all kinds of colors right now. We'll just keep it to that. We'll call it Seduna Steel. Easy enough. So, we'll get now... Where can I buy the rail yards? I suppose it doesn't really matter where I buy it from, because I can get it from anywhere. But I'll buy it's going to have to buy it up here, aren't I? It's a bit out of the way, but hey-ho. Diesel, bam, 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 bam. It's delivering steel on the flat card. I'm going to do a 60 capacity to begin with, because I don't know how much it's going to take from... Well, the thing is, 60 capacity... I'll tell you why I'm doing 60 capacity right now. Let me go to Seduna Steel. Because the 60 capacity... On that short of a distance, you got to think, let's say I deliver from here at 200 capacity, it's got to go down, round, and in. By the time it's done that, how many journeys can that 60 capacity do to equal the delivery of that plastics coming in? You know what I mean? That's what we've got to try and think of. So a route from there to here, which I'm going to call this one Seduna. Am I pronouncing it right? Yeah, Seduna Plastic is what I'll call it. Seduna North and, well, both platforms really need to go on both sides with the purple. You can now see it coming down, which is perfect. Buy a train for that. So diesel, bam. Eventually I will switch them all over to electric. So boxcar for the plastics. I'll do a 200 capacity. It might be overkill, but we'll see what happens. So that would mean then that we can now officially start producing goods in this factory, which need to be delivered to Port Lincoln, Alice Springs, and I think it's only just them two at the moment. Eventually, Kunanaru and Mount Isa, eventually. But at the minute, just these two places. Now, we can deliver to Alice Springs really easy. It can't deliver to Port Lincoln because this doesn't bend in that way, which we're now going to make it do it. And those two train lines are then pretty much set up. Right, bring you in. We all good? Yeah. Get the signals now down. You're there. Alright, that should be all the signals now needed. And I can now get 2 goods trains connected all up. So the first one from here to Port Lincoln. And it's a goods train, so we'll make it... it needs to be like a brownie. I'm going to go for that colour there. Yeah. So this is our Port Lincoln goods. Easy enough, right, boys? Easy enough. And another new line, sorry. And then this will be our Alice Springs goods as well. So get you connected all up. Oh, I didn't get him to utilize both platforms, did I? No, let me get my Port Lincoln ones. I've got so many lines right now, it's crazy. And we need, I'm going to do 2 60 capacity trains for that as well. Doesn't need to be that big. Right, okay, so let's buy these now. And it's boxcars for goods, 60 capacity. 2. So 1 is on Alice Springs goods. 1 is on Port Lincoln goods. Now we just have to give it time for the goods to be kind of like, you know, picked up, dropped off, transitioned, delivered, circulated, all that kind of jazz. Then we'll come back and we'll see where the, you know, the weakest link is in the chain of delivering all these products. We'll have to kind of see where the weak link is. It's probably going to be all of this, delivering the goods. There's a lot here. That's only delivering 100. So we'll come back and see anyway. We'll come back and see what's actually going down. So that there sorts out all of the goods run right now. I can now connect up goods to other cities that eventually do need it. We're now going to focus on the fuel. So. Where am I bringing it in? Now, if I bring it into this, which means bringing the oil from over here, it does mean that I'm taking away oil that will go to the plastics line. Which is not a problem. It's not a problem. It just depends on how much oil is available from all of this. There seems to be a little bit of excess. I'm not sure if this is going to go down too well. That's currently maxed out. What are the trains like on these lines? So, the crude oil. Oh, what vehicles are these? They're a 200 capacity. If I was to replace them. It's these ones, right? Yeah, they've got the max capacity ones on. They are getting a little bit old. Are we already at max? Do you reckon we need like a fourth train? I mean, we are producing fuel over here, but that's not really getting the delivery it needs as well. There's a lot. I feel like we could need a fourth train, or I just need to make them better trains. That's the crude oil line. We've got the oil line going back and forth. Right, let me first replace the trains on this line. So, crude oil, this one, going back and forth right now. Manage the vehicles. We'll switch these over to electric. This is eventually what I'm going to do anyway. They probably won't like this, bearing in mind. But the tractive power is 500. Power, 9,500 HP. 500, 9,000. Yeah, it's so much better, the electric. It will get up to speed a lot quicker. Granted, they're they're a lot more expensive to run a year. That's probably not the best one to go with, right? Oh, no, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Because I can also give these maybe a little bit more cargo to carry. Which will outweigh and offset. Yeah, I thought so. No electric path. I did think that when I was about to do it, there's no electric path. Annoyingly, I've got to do now so much. Right, bam, bam, bam. I don't know if they're high-speed rail as well. That's another thing I'm probably going to have to upgrade. Right, this is so... Can be so difficult. Alright, there we go. Here and here, and is there... Oh, no. There's, like, splits in it. That's really weird, isn't it? I think it's where I've, like, upgraded lines and changed stuff as I've gone along. Right. High speed is the next question. Now, not to say that they're going to get up to high speed, but it would be nice. Right, let me manage these vehicles and now replace them. So, electric, bam, cargo. Bam. Now, granted, they can't do high speed, but are they really getting up to high speed is the question. At least they got a little bit more pulling power right now. They can get up to speed a little bit quicker. So I want to see this one when it fully loads. It's Skadoodle out. I'm not sure what the speed limit is for this, if I'm being completely honest with you. Does it say what the speed limit is for trains? Tracks? It doesn't say what the actual speed limit is. Now, you don't really need high-speed trains on this section of the railway. You really don't. But apparently I'm doing it anyway. I just want to see what the train gets up to. And annoyingly, you do need a bypassing station here. So it gets up to the 90s before it has to slow down. So it has made it a lot faster, a lot quicker. But this is not solving what I'm meant to be doing, boys. I'm meant to be running a new fuel line. For the mid-Australian towns and cities. Right, this will just make it more efficient in general anyway. Okay, this one has a bypassing route. Right, come on. Let's get these little sections here. These are the annoying ones. Oh, no. Those annoying ones. Especially when I make them that short. But this was originally for steam trains. Right, okay. It's hilarious that that has a bypassing route, but this one doesn't. But it's only because it has the we have a line that bypasses all of this. But then again, we have lines that bypass all of this. So, actually, no, they don't, because they keep stopping off. But ignore me. I'm just talking jibber jabber. Right. You're not carrying all the oil. And you're way too long for this platform as well, which is even more hilarious. But dropping it off anyway, making the cash, is what I like to see. It's what I like to see. So this is connected to all of these. It's not really shipping. Maybe the numbers will increase. But this doesn't solve the whole purpose of what's going on right now. With the fact that I need to actually produce some more fuel. Now, I could bring fuel from elsewhere. I can bring fuel from here up to here and have a fuel line there. Oh, that might be better, having like a dedicated one. Issue is, it's on the wrong side of the tracks for my commuter line. Right, let's see what I can do here for a nice little oil run. I'm wondering if I can make it go under here as a tunnel. Let me see, because this will kind of create something magical. Which it will do. Right, just bear with me a second, boys, because I've got something here that I can create. Because I don't think my current line setup is adequate enough. Now, building-wise, 1 track. I'm going to go high speed. No, 2 tracks. Because I'm going to have to delete something. I'm going to have to delete one of them. That does eat into it quite a bit. Right, 1 track. So 1 train should be able to do all of this. I don't think I can... No, I'm not going to be able to meet them, and that would be absolutely ridiculous if I even tried to attempt it. But if I went that there, and then 2... Oh, Laverton. I didn't even realise that town was right here. Like this. So, tracks. That would go in like this. I don't mind the tunnel. Now, me realizing bypassing routes again. Right, let's sort this out, configure. Actually, we don't need a bypassing route. I've just realized I don't need it. Because, honestly, it's going to be 1 train on this line. And you might be crazy thinking, wait, what, Seniac? I can do 1 train in this line and it will work out glorious. Because it can do all the same things. I'll explain in just a moment, boys. I'll explain in just a moment. Right, that's into there, into there, into there. This is going to come down, and I'm going to try and get a station real quick to hook up here, which is all good. Train track going up to here. No problemo. Now, on the off chance that I will need multiple trains, right, because it's only 1 line using it, I don't need to do a bypassing route, because none of these trains are going to bypass. And I'll explain why in just a moment, boys. Hold, let me just get this all sorted out. You're there. Just before the tunnel, you're there. There. And then 1 just here. Bam. So how it's going to work is pick up the oil here, right? Drop, actually, do bypass this. Nah, we'll be okay. Drop it, drop it off there. Now this, oh, I got to zoom in. Hold on. This here uses 2 crude oil for 1 refined oil. So it will drop off 200, produce 100. That will bring it to here, which will produce 100 fuel. Then I'm going to create a line that bends around and connects that way for all the... Oh, I do need to turn this into a bypassing route. So I keep forgetting. This is my biggest flaw right now, this episode. I keep forgetting, boys. I keep forgetting. I'm picking up goods. One day, your boy will use his brain. I don't know what's going inside my head right now, but trust me. There's no logic. There's no logic. So I do need the bypassing route because you're going to have trains, multiple trains on these platforms picking up. And I need the free-flowing oil run to have no issues. Is what I need. Newcastle now demands food. Alright, that's done. Now, I think I did put the Chrissy Crosses far back enough. He now demands fuel. That I can lead all this in. This is the exact same thing that happened earlier. You thought I would have learned for the first time round. Right, configure it for the building. And then just get the vehicles driving up to it. That's what it needs to do. That's connected. These aren't technically connected right now. So I'm going to bring you in. Bring you down. This I'm actually going to... So it touches both of them. I'm going to build that connection just here. So that now touches all three. Beautiful. So I can't get a training just yet, but I'm hoping right now I can create a bend. So if I go to there. No, I don't like that bend. I'll go with this bend. We'll go with that. Oh, I've connected it on the wrong one. That's annoying. Right, that will work fine. Right, that works fine for the connection going right round. We're now all good. Obviously, signals and terraforming needs to come into play. I suppose I could do them after I built all this stuff, right? Yeah. Right, okay, so new line. Picking up there. Dropping off there. Then picking up there and then dropping off here. And then going back again. That's literally all it does. I make this this line kind of dark, so easy enough to see. And easy enough for us to understand. Utilizing multiple platforms. I'll sort out the signals at a later date. And this will be known as... This is Laverton to... Two lines go to Laverton, so I'm going to call it our Laverton oil / fuel. Because it's ultimately creating fuel. Right. The closest place in which I can get a train to it, annoyingly, with the direction that the line is set in, is going to be over here. So, diesel or electric? Because of the pure pulling power I'm going to need, I'm going to go on the electric route. Could be a bad idea. And I'll do a 300 capacity. Is that too much? Let's just do a 200 capacity to begin with. And then we'll see how we get on with that. So, Laverton oil fuel. That does what I needed to do. Now, we'll sort out the terraforming now. While I wait for that train to do its business, because I'm still got to wait for it to produce fuel before I can make it actually, or set up the fuel runs and lines. So I'm going to get all the signals set up next. That's a priority. So I'm just going to do a little bit of terraforming real quick. Little bit of terraforming. And let's sort out some signals down here. So you're there. We'll do there and there. Leading up to this. There. 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 Back into here. There. You're here. You're there. Bam. Well, bam. Just sort it out on this side now. And then coming down this way. That is our cargo commuter route, by the way. I'll do one set just here. There we go. There we go. There we go. Righty. So, it's just a case of waiting for that oil train to come down. But in the meantime, we'll now set up the fueling line. So, fuel from here is going to be delivered to the first town, which will be Alice Springs. So, call it Alice. Oh, Springs. Fuel. Make it orange. Utilize both platforms. Bam, bam, bam. And then the other line, which is going to go to, at the minute, Port Lincoln. Make it orange. Make it utilize both platforms. Port Lincoln. I spelled it right, didn't I? Yep. Done. So there is other towns that he will eventually be able to get the fuel and the goods that we've created. But I got to get them all connected. So let me buy the 2 trains for it. Diesel or... I'm going to go diesel. Just because they're only going to carry 60. Buy 2. Alright, 1 for Alice Springs fuel. Port Lincoln. Again, we'll always come back and change them where we need to. Port Lincoln. Oh, it's that one there. I just didn't call it fuel, did I? Fuel, baby. Fuel. Yay. Right, okay, so that's now all done. Now, you might be thinking, Senik, you haven't really done much this episode. Well, I have. I've not only now set up a goods kind of industry and a fuel industry within the center. You got to remember, these last few episodes, I've got now a fuel, a goods, a machine, a brick, and a food industry, all for all the towns in the center and northern side, even down the southern side here of Australia as well. Which means Port Lincoln's now got all its stuff. Once I get Seduna all set up, I can then have the fuel and food coming in. I've already got those places all set up. If I get Laverton set up, goods and fuel is good to go. Same for Mount Isa. Same for Kununurru. Even over here in Broome, Port Hedland, which this stuff over here is probably going to come from the stuff that I create over on this side. So there's not any, not too much stress involved in all of that. It's now just giving them time, allowing them to get their goods. Now, is this the cargo train? This is the fuel train coming down right now for this section. So this will now do the beans for us. Do the beans, baby, the beans. That will come in and then start doing what he needs to do. Oh, I'm so excited. So, while that's doing what it's got to do then for the fuel route to get set up, let's take a look at this over here to see if we are adequately carrying enough. So this doesn't have enough ore at this moment in time. So we're now going to add a bit more to this train. So I'll give it a 200 capacity. So it'll pick up 200 at a time. And that will then match the coal coming in. Beautiful. Which means this would need more plastic by the looks of it. Now, checking out the plastics plant. Ooh. We're distributing quite a bit here and there. Where's the goods coming from? It's got to be from down here, hasn't it? Yeah, that goods train, that Seduna plastic. Stop carrying goods, please. You might be thinking you're doing a good thing right now. But no goods. Thank you. Only carry pure plastic. Right, that you should then stop seeing goods eventually being on the platform. But this is getting the oil, which is pretty sweet. There is another oil train on the way in. So that then should obviously consistently keep carrying us plastic down. That's picking up steel, off it goes. We're just going to get this to keep producing serious numbers, which is now picking up 200 for the first time. So that should do us some justice. This is now going to pick up oil for the first time. And this will take a couple of circulations. It's all on the same route. Like I said, it'll take a couple of circulations for us to notice much of a difference. Here comes the first fuel truck right now, which there's no fuel for it to pick up just yet. So that will take a little bit of time. But in the grand scheme of things, though, one of the cities that needed the goods, which was Alice Springs, are you actually getting the goods? You are. And we should then see, once the fuel comes in, a nice little growth spurt. Same for Port Lincoln, right? You're getting the goods? Yeah, we should see a nice little growth spurt for them happening as well. It should all go to plan. It should all go to plan. It's still got goods on the plastic route, but that is slowly dwindling. That's where it was stealing a lot of the goods for other places. Does it still tell us who the consumer was? Albany, Esperance, Perth? Oh man, those three towns shouldn't have been on that route. They're getting their goods from over here. God damn it, you fools. Is this losing anything? It needs more steel, if anything. How is the steel line over here these days? It's got a lot, and it's got a lot to pick up as well. So I think it's just in between trains at the moment. Right, where's that fuel run? How are we doing? That's a train going out, nothing there. That's just dropped off, you know, the 200 fuel. So when he goes back and drops another 200, it then should pick up the crude or the refined oil to drop off for them fuel. So it takes a little bit of time, but we will eventually get there. We will eventually get there. Right, things are definitely going to plan. They're definitely going to plan. It's just now giving them time to circulate and do what they've got to do. Now, are we still producing enough fuel over here? We could definitely do with increasing the numbers of the fuel coming in. The McKay oil brings in 240, which is definitely some left over. Does it make enough in the finances? It does. So I might switch this over right now to an electric train. Just for a bit more pulling power. And add 300 capacity. To pay for the extras. Is there a lot of oil over here? Not too much. So we'll just allow that to keep doing what it's got to do anyway. It's got a load in there anyway, so we're okay. Increase the speed, increase the amount it carries to pay for the, or offset the payments for the electric maintenance. Things are going well. They're going really well, boys. I'm happy. I'm happy right now. Right, they are utilizing quite a lot of ore right now. This makes good cash. It's such a short distance, but I think it's the speed. It can't get up to speed, so it maintains a slow speed for that short distance, where that can, once it gets to speed, just completely bomb it down the road. But we're getting 200 now, about to be delivered. So we're okay, boys. We're okay right now. And have we delivered any fuel, any oil? We have. I think we have. Somehow it got one. I'm not quite sure how. Oh, it might have picked one up as it dropped off originally. But that's just now had its first delivery coming in. So that'll then start producing the fuel ready for the 2 trains to distribute it to their towns. Zoomy, zoomy. This is going really well. I can't express how well that this is now gone. And it's going to set us up for the future. So I think we need to spend an episode reviewing all of our current lines, reviewing the lines that are losing money. We need to kind of go through all of this. We have set up the bus routes for Darwin and Catherine. We got to have to set up the bus routes to Tennant Creek, for Alice Springs, for Port Lincoln. We need to get Sedona linked up to the network as well. That's something that we are going to have to, you know, think about getting sorted too. It's all there, boys, in the palm of our hands. We just need to grasp it. Grasp it, baby. So, before we bring to an end then, boys, have we broken any records in the money that we're now earning? Look how much profit we're making, though. I still got my loan. People are still mad that I still have my $3 million loan. I might pay it off next episode, guys. What do you reckon? What do you reckon? Oh, we've reached the 1 billion mark. So we've had our best year recently where we made 1.07 billion. And I think I've just smashed it with 1.08 billion. In income. In income, boys. That is crazy. That is absolutely crazy right now. It really is. In terms of lines, you can see what our most profitable line is at this minute. It all depends on what time it's delivering the stuff. Melbourne Wood makes quite a bit of cash. The high-speed train lines make some serious cash as well. The Adelaide to Newcastle one makes some good cash too. But at the same time, there is lines losing lots of money as well, like the Geraldton Steel. It's probably a case of we're just viewing it in the year where it kind of doesn't make money, and then it will make exuberant amounts of cash. So it all depends. Albury Fuel right now makes money, then it doesn't make money. You can kind of see the issues in some of this, but we do need to review some of them because some of them are probably not making money unnecessarily. That's the best way to pull it. If that's the best way to pull it, boys. Right, lots of fuel on the platforms right now. Just waiting for the trains to kind of come down. There's one on the way down right now. About to skedaddle and pick up the goods. Is that another one on the way down? Not quite sure. Oh, this is waiting. Oh, we need signals here. Which would go there. Actually, we need multiple signals. I just realised it's not an actual junction, is it? That is definitely slowing us down. Definitely slowing us down right there. Let's add a little bit more onto that, baby. Right, there we go. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. We've finally broken $1 billion in income in a single year. And we are going straight to the moon, baby. Straight to the moon. There's still so much we've got to do. So much we've still got to get set up. And hopefully we will eventually see big growth spurts for all the, continuing from all the towns. Probably have to review some of our current towns. Melbourne is absolutely crazy right now. What is the biggest town I've got in terms of size? It is Melbourne. No way. I thought Perth would be, but Melbourne is proper going for it right now. It's just shame about the topography and the mountains around it. Otherwise, that would be an absolutely massive city. Guys, I hope you did enjoy this episode. If you did, smash that like button down below. And until next time, I see you all soon. So goodbye.